So today we will be talking about tissues. As you know, cell is the functional and structural unit of an organisms, and tissues can be defined as the group of cells of common origin undergoing a common function. So basically, tissues are of two types: plant tissues and animal tissues. First, we are going to deal with the plant tissues. Plant tissues is further categorized into two main types, that is meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristigmatic tissues, these are tissues which have very thin walled. So these tissues have very thin walled cells which are always in a stage of division. As you well know that cells have an ability to divide, to multiply in their number. That means they can increase their number by dividing. So meristematic tissue is, you can call them as dividing tissue. And as they are dividing tissue, they are mainly found in areas, in parts of the plant where there is a possibility of growth. Because the tips of the plant, so if it will be present in the tips, then only it will get to increase of the length of the plant. That's why it is present in those areas. Talking about the nature of the cells of the meristematic tissue, these cells are always in a stage of division, means they are always dividing so that they can increase the length or the breadth of the plant. What are the main characteristics? The main characteristics, the first one is that the cells of the meristematic tissues are very similar in structure, and they have a cell wall which is made up of cellulose. Cellulose is a type of sugar or carbohydrate. The next is, the meristematic cells can be of different shapes. So these are the shapes: spherical, oval, polygonal or rectangular. Next is, meristematic cells are compactly arranged. Compactly arranged means they do not have spaces between them. The cells might have intercellular spaces in between, like the molecules which have intercellular spaces in between. Similarly, cells can have gaps between them. So such gap is absent in case of meristematic cells. Next point, each meristematic cells contains dense or abundant cytoplasm and a single large nucleus. So they have very dense cytoplasm and a very single large nucleus is there, which help them in division. Talking about the location, as I already told you that meristematic tissues are mainly present in those areas where there is a possibility of growth. And on the basis of this, meristematic tissue is divided into three types, as you can see in the picture, and as you can see in page 10 of your book, that meristematic tissue first is apical meristem. So these are the type of meristematic tissue, apical meristem, which is situated at the growing tips of the plant, growing tips of either root, stems, branches. And when they are present in the growing tips of root, stems and branches, they lead to the elongation of those parts. The next is lateral meristem. So lateral meristem are those type of meristematic tissues which are found between the bark and wood of trees, where it leads to the increase in thickness. So lateral means sides. So side means they are lead to the growth of the plant from the side. So the plant can increase their thickness, the plant can become fat. Now the second is intercalary meristem. Intercalary means internode, or at the base of the leaf, means from where the leaf come out from the main branch, main stem, that part. So in that part also certain meristematic tissues are there which are known as intercalary meristem. They also help in growth, in length. Now what are the different functions of meristematic tissues? So meristematic tissues acts as a parent tissues from which other tissues develop. Now meristematic tissues are known as the divisional tissues, means they are the dividing tissues. So when they divide, these tissues are not permanent, but they divide themselves, they increase their number to form the permanent tissues. Permanent tissues cannot divide further. They are the, means you can say them as the end. But Meristematic tissues are not the end, these are the beginnings. So they go on dividing and further they lead to the formation of different structures. Second function is these tissues take part in growth by formation of new cells. As I said that these tissues have cells which are always dividing, and when they divide, they increase their number and forms many new cells. Number 3, with the help of meristem, plant continue to produce as these tissues are dividing tissues, so they lead to formation of different parts of the plant like new leaves, branches, fruit, etc.